Previously on Ballz.
How are you this afternoon, Tank?
Yeah, not too bad. And the Ballz team. Hello, ladies.
How's it, Tagman?
Yeah, with our skeleton staff. No, they're chuffed. They're all good. And I suppose no complaints given the Springbok squad announcement.
Yeah, look, I mean, it'd be tricky to complain about that squad. I've been shouting quite hard for Pat Lambie to be included in the side. But for once, I think probably it's not a bad time for Kirshner to be in the side, because I think against the All Blacks, I mean, even though they were so good against Australia and they played a more ball-in-hand game and Kirshner took the ball up and they looked much better. I mean, the Aussies were really horrible. And I think against the All Blacks, we're going to need to be more circumspect. It's going to be about smashing them up front, being quite safe for the first 50 minutes. So perhaps Kirshner is a good call for Saturday. And yeah, I think, in terms of, continuity and in rewarding, good performances, I don't think one can fault sticking with the same side. And, I think they deserve a crack at the All Blacks on Saturday.
Yeah. You mentioned that the Wallabies were poor, and they were. And there's been quite a lot of talk, especially from Carlos Spencer, saying that the All Blacks are a totally different kettle of fish, and he thinks that they're actually going to come out there and smash the Springboks on Saturday. He doesn't think that the Springboks know what's coming.
I saw those comments, and I must say I did giggle. I think he's probably spot on in terms of, it's going to be a totally different kettle of fish. I mean, the Aussies, they finished the game with 14 men. It was more like a war tent than a Blimmin' rugby game, such were the injuries, and they really, really did struggle. So the All Blacks, they're not the best side in the world for nothing. They're the world champions. They're on a 15-match winning streak, and if they get past the Box on Saturday, they could beat Nick Mallett's record of the Box 17 streak. Yeah. I mean, they are a bloody good side. And look, I don't know if I'd smashed. I think the Box will be competitive, especially at home. But yeah, I think they will have to up their game considerably and probably be a little bit more circumspect, as I said earlier, to match them. But yeah, I think they'll be up against it. The All Blacks will be good, and they're probably going to start as favourites, even though they're in Soweto.
Yeah, and added to that is the fact that they've already won the competition. So, and they're difficult to predict on the best of days. I mean, they're an unpredictable team. They can come out there and run absolutely rampant. But do you think we could see them playing with even more freedom than what we're used to now that they've got the competition in the bag?
I do indeed. And I don't say that lightly, because often that mid-rapper kind of game is a bit like the just last night going down to India. It's a bit flat. But the record that I've mentioned, I mean, obviously it's not a big thing in their lives, but it'll certainly be a little bit of a carrot. So that it'd be quite tempting to go for that. I think the fact that they've won it, instead of it being a dead rubber, I think that they'll come out and express themselves a bit. And that is concerning, because an All Black side expressing themselves is quite concerning if you're a Springbok player or coach, but quite wonderful if you're a spectator. And I do think they'll come out, they'll spin the ball, they'll have a crack, and even more so, then I think the Springboks need to tighten it up, and they need to really get in their faces. Proper hardcore tackling, anyone coming back inside the channel, Alberts must just smash. There's got to be some rattling of cages, because that's where they come unstuck, and then accurate kicking. So you turn those halfbacks and outside backs. That's the key to being an All Black. So it could be a tale of totally two different styles, where the All Blacks come out to play a little bit of Harlem Globetrotter stuff, and the South Africans try and go hard up front, and they're just using muscle and brute force.
Yeah, part of our strength when we play at home, and especially on the high veld, is A, the high veld, and B, our stadiums. We rely a lot on our supporters and the gees to intimidate the opposition, and we really, that's considered our 16th man. But if you look at the history of the SA All Blacks at Soccer City, there's only been one game, and it was absolute heartbreak for South Africa there. So it's not even like we can say that the ground holds good memories for us.
No, not good memories between the four white lines, but what an experience. I was sadly not there, and so I cannot wait to be there on Saturday. But I'm told by every single person who watched the game that it was just almost life-altering how good it was. Which, is a credit to the All Blacks for winning. I mean, you rightly said that, at the high veld and at even Ellis Park and at Loftus, it's like having an extra guy on your side. But for the All Blacks still to win at Soccer City, is a feather in their cap, and it just shows that they don't really get rattled unless you're in their faces in terms of tackling. But I think on Saturday, after the Australian win, guys will be a little bit more. They'll be a little bit more fierce, and I'm talking about the crowd now. There'll be a little bit. There'll be more of a vibe in people's step. It's quite tough to have 2 games at the Highveld, in consequent weeks, because it's tough on the consumer's pockets. I mean, tickets are expensive.
Very.
And so there were a couple of empty seats last week, and I presume there might even be a few this weekend. But I think the vibe will be good, and at Soccer City. Asaru and sponsors are going all out to recreate that vibe that happened at the last test. And I think it'll certainly be an advantage South Africa to. But obviously the All Blacks don't seem to be rattled too much by that.
No. Chat to us before we wrap it up quickly about the injuries. I believe Goosen's still struggling with that foot injury. Are we likely to see Ruan Pienaar assuming the kicking duties again?
Yeah, it looks like it. He's got a funny injury, old Goosen. He's injured the fat on the base of his heel.
Number. No, I'm kidding.
It's probably the only place he's got some fat, unlike me, So, and he's got some bone bruising, which it's a long-term injury. And apparently, as he plants the foot, it sort of shoots a bit of pain up his leg, and he can't kick, but he can run because he runs on his twinkle toes. So it does look likely that Pienaar is going to take the kicks, and obviously, he had an away game last week. He didn't kick that well. But, for Ulster, he was magnificent. He got man of the season. And that included playing scrum off and taking the pots at goal. So, I think there's been a lot of talk about Quinn being the kicking coach and what he is or isn't doing. But I certainly would have faith in Pienaar, the goal kicker. And he was hoping it just comes right. And he's probably had a bit more practice this week.
Yeah. And then, before I ask you for a prediction, poor Heinrich Brousseau. Can it get any more unfortunate for this guy?
Shame, it's just the toughest thing on earth. I mean, obviously, Heineke has his reservations, unlike the rest of the country, and he was obviously fighting to try and get his spot back. Francois playing well, so perhaps Heineke is going to change his mind on a fetcher, and then starting to play some good rugby. Injured the whole of the Super Rugby season, comes back and does his shoulder against Griquas. I was actually there on Saturday, of all places, But, shame. But it's not as if Heineke was smashing his door down to get into the box side. But you can just imagine how frustrating it must be for a player who he wants to try and show his worth. One has to feel for him.
Yeah, very unfortunate, and hoping that you'll be ready in time for Super Rugby next year. Okay, Tank, nail your colours to the mast. What's going to happen on Saturday?
Right, cue the vitriol, tar and feather. I think the Boks will go down by 3 in a gut-wrenching and heart-wrenching performance that, I just think the All Blacks will be a little bit too good. I think they're a very, very good side, and I think the Boks are still finding their way under Heineke.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. So Tank Lanning, the first to call a Bok loss. Cool, Tank. That's very unpatriotic of you. You know the vibe, Tank. Even if we're at death's door, you say the Boks are going to win. That's just how it works.
What did you predict with your head and you support with your heart?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. So All Blacks by 3, and I'll see you there. I'll see you at the game. I'm going. I managed to save up enough.
Tremendous.
Yeah, I saved for 6 months, so I'm going. I'll see you there on Saturday.
Good man.
Cool, Tank. Thanks.
Right,
thanks for joining us.
Well.
There we go. Tank Lanning.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.